So we're going to see wide receiver Kevin Coleman at the All-American Bowl. Is there any chance that he is still in play for FSU?
I think this one is pretty interesting. I still don't think it's in Florida State's favor. I don't think it was during the night before early signing day. I just wasn't hearing positive waves towards FSU on that. Really talented guy. Before, though, a week before early signing day, what we were hearing were positives. He was telling Florida State staff certain things, and they felt good. That kind of feels like that's what happened to Florida State in this last class. A lot of guys saying, hey, I'm leaning towards y'all. I'm leaning towards picking you. But then they'd go and visit one last place real quick, and that would kind of diminish that and ruin it. And so I still think Florida State, it's like a 2 out of 5 for Kevin Coleman if I were to predict anything. I think he's most likely Miami bound, but he could shock everyone and be like, oh, well, actually, I'm coming to Tallahassee, but I just don't see that happening right now. I think it's more of a Miami bound than anything. But it's extremely talented. He would come in and impact that wide receiver room immediately. And potential to play very early on like Malik McLean had.
D's coming in here with a question of the night. Where's NBC's Jason Parker at?
I know, right? Where is Jason Parker? 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to send a DM in here right now.
Yeah, okay. You beat me to it. I was going that route.
2 weeks in a row. Unreal.
So everybody, Jason was the guy. So let me backtrack. I was just going to talk about today. Basically, since the history of this show began 139 weeks ago, Jason is the guy on Wednesday that's like in the DM, like, we're talking about this. We're going to talk about this. It's like 8 in the morning. And Jason is on the DM saying, going to do this. He's taking his shots at different people, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, which is great. I've told him a number of times I kind of kid with him, make fun of him from that standpoint, just to have fun. But I'll also say, hey, thanks for doing this. I didn't have time to look at anything. And thanks for lining up our show. And we'll talk about A, B, and C. Great. Appreciate that. But so Jason was in, and Jason has missed the last 2 weeks. And now we're working on 3 weeks for Jason. And Jason was talking about being here. So all of a sudden, we don't know where he is.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. There's maybe some things he's taking care of. He usually is eating his salad around this time.
Yes.
But maybe work's getting crazy. Maybe he got too good for us. Maybe he's left us. I didn't even see someone had a comment. Yeah, we miss Jason, because there's usually at some point here there's an argument. Usually around this point there is a Willie Taggart and a Mike Norvell argument, and the show doesn't feel right without having one of those. And then I'd hopefully be able to bring up a uniform topic that would really get on his nerves. And maybe he just needed a little 2-week break from holidays, and then he brings back the energy next week.
I thought I would be in Jason's good graces just because we had 2 bets during the college football season where Jason made a statement. He had a hot take in the summer that one was on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's going to do this and they're going to do that. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. No. And so we had a little over under on Georgia Tech, and I won that by a measly like 3 or 4 games or whatever it was. So we had that one. And then another week, Jason was on here and he had a hot take on Pitt. Pat Nartuzzi's going to get fired. It's going to be horrible. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what? And so then we had an over under on Pitt. Needless to say, there was still like a month left in the season at least. And I won that one. And so we had a couple of little friendly wagers with a few dollars behind him. And I was like, Jason, you're on here every week. You're our guy. That's a little payment for you. So we can wipe the record clean. And even though I took you for 2 wagers on Georgia Tech and Pitt this season, so I thought that would have put me in a good place.
Yeah, I thought he would come on here and be able to talk some more smack, but it seems like we took the L. He's starting to hide from us, and he's probably listening to this right now, or he'll listen to this later. But we do miss you, Jason.
Yes,
we miss the arguing. about the silliest of things. That's what makes this show better. That's what the people are here for. And now we're heading into like strictly dead, well, not dead off season, but we're heading into the not so fun part of the off season. This is where we need you so we can argue about some crazy, stupid things.
We need crazy, stupid arguments. We need a little story time. You know, what the last trip to Publix looked like, you know, that sort of thing.
Yep, I know. And we missed all the holiday stuff because he's always reminded us of the holidays and what was coming up and how many days away they were. But
always he'll be back straight on the holidays. Yes,
he'll be back.
So Richard is asking, Mark, Logan, do you guys think that the Florida State admin told Deion that he could not help Florida State?
I don't think so. I think Deion talked about it in one of his recent interviews. I don't know if it was with Rich Eisen. I don't know. He did a few interviews after early signing day. I know for a fact he did say that he has helped Florida State too, and the recruitment for definitely, and the recruitment of defensive backs. He's helped stay in contact. He's done things to help the program. So we'll see, you know, if that's true or not. You know, it's, you know, you never know what could be happening there. But I don't think the FSU admin would do something like that. I mean, Deion is everywhere around the programming. That's what Deion talked about. He said, I'm everywhere. I'm right there inside the stadium. I'm all inside whenever you walk in, where all the awards are, trophies, rings, NFL players, Hall of Fame. Like I literally have a statue of me inside the locker room. So I'm, you know, they would not do that. I think the relationship is better than maybe some think. This was just a really big play on Florida State side. And I had a talk to earlier this week a little bit more about Deion and his interest in coaching at Florida State. And there was big time interest in coaching at Florida State. Just the background and him not having so much experience hurt that. And I don't think things ended like that where, you know, Florida State was just like, stop, we're not doing anything with you, blah, blah. They had listened to him, listened to Agent from what I was told. And there was things where, you know, Deion had a chance. There was one guy at the top of the list, and that was Mike Norvell. That was the top target. So, you know, there's still some other things maybe hindering Deion from becoming the head coach at Florida State. But, you know, he had pressed very hard to be the next one after Willie Taggart left. And that's completely 100% true from what I've heard. And that's a very reliable source on that.
We've got a question coming in from Awesome T. And so I'll tackle this one first, not knowing much about AJ Duffy, although obviously he's a top-notch prospect, but more from the Jordan Travis side is that, you know, I thought his development was pretty substantial this past year. I don't think by any stretch that he's a top-flight elite quarterback, but I don't think that he is not worthy of the position. And I had my doubts. This time last year, I had more serious doubts about Jordan Travis than I do now. He has shown me quite a bit. Looking at the ACC and quarterbacks, it was definitely the best league in America at quarterback play this past season. It was extremely good, like 5 deep with arguably all conference, all America type players. And it would, to give Jordan Travis a fair shake, the offensive line's been better. It would be great if there was more development there. And, you know, with his mobility, with his wheels, it's not as needed as it is with other quarterbacks. But still, even with a mobile quarterback, you want to be able to execute your plays and not have him improvising all the time and running all over the place. And what I really think is going to benefit him is an upgrade at wide receiver. They really desperately need an upgrade at wide receiver. So it's easy to knock the quarterback, but there's so much more around him that could be upgraded to help him out. But in terms of AJ Duffy, who knows? Is he going to be an early enrollee?
Yep, AJ
Okay.
Duffy. AJ Duffy arrived 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an obvious plus for him to get him into winter workouts, spring practice. That's just a huge benefit, especially for a quarterback to understand the system. So, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, no, I don't. He's not going to be starting day one. That's not going to happen unless just absolutely out of nowhere he's blowing
Oh,
it up. But that's
I'm sorry to cut you off.
good.
I just should double check the question after you said day one. I was wondering if Awesome T asked us if he was going to start day one.
Oh,
Okay, but
okay.
anyway,
Well, yeah, even year one, it kind of goes the same way. Unless
yeah,
does he have a chance to start a game? I don't even want to knock on wood. Nothing happens to J-Trab, but you still have Tate Rodemaker back there. I do think AJ Duffy is one of the most talented quarterbacks Florida State has had coming in as a recruit since DeAndre Francois. Really, um, this is a talented kid. I think having a year behind Jordan Travis will be huge. Learning the offense, I think it's fantastic that he is an early enrollee. That's huge for any quarterback coming in to a program early to learn that offense and be behind Jordan Travis, who's really become a big time leader and has stepped up to represent Florida State very well and build these relationships inside the locker room. And he'll do that with AJ Duffy. Duffy, you would hope, can develop to be a potential backup later in the season. You would love for him to get as much playing time as he can, but it doesn't need to be against LSU. You would love it for Florida State to have AJ Duffy jump into the game into the third quarter in their home opener on week 0. So, Florida State sees a lot in AJ Duffy, and they should. He plays well. He played against good competition at IMG. I know some people and are looking at his stats and such, but I mean, the amount of talent and how many times they ran the ball. Could someone go please look at all the talent that was just played this last Saturday and this upcoming Saturday? I mean, the amount of talent that IMG had running the ball. There's no reason. It's hard to give any kind of can't even blast AJ Duffy that much on that, and too much talent at the running back position for IMG, and was running the ball a ton. So I'm excited to see AJ Duffy. I think that there's a bright future for him at Florida State. I think Florida State has done a really good job with AJ Duffy. You got next year with Chris Parson coming in, who I think is extremely special. So, but I think if he were to start somewhere in year one, then something badly is going on with Jordan Travis. But yeah,